This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studio on Caraba Avenue, and I am Andy Kerma. Thanks for joining us. Here are our top stories. Following the release of the latest Afrobarometer survey on Friday, we engaged Fatou Jang Senghor, co-national investigator of the Afrobarometer, about some of the main topics that featured prominently in the survey. Members of the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee are having a week-long meeting in the Gambia to assess the state of implementation of the ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement, among other matters. The Gambia Public Procurement Authority GPPA began a 5-day retreat on Monday to review the public procurement regulations and strategic documents for 2023. In international news, as the Mpox virus spreads rapidly across Africa, the Director General of the Africa CDC, Jean Kaseya, explains factors hindering the continent's Mpox response. In sports news, ahead of the qualifiers for the Morocco African Cup of Nations tournament, Gambian players continue to shine at the club level with goals and top performances over the weekend. Those were the headlines, and now look at the stories in detail. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Following the release of the latest Afrobarometer survey on Friday, two of the four main topics that featured prominently are the perception on women's rights in the country and the transitional justice process, with a special focus on the fate of ex-President Jammeh. Ansumane Sonyasi engaged Fatou Jang Senghor, co-national investigator of the Afrobarometer, and this is his report.
On their findings on the transitional justice process, Fatou Jang Senghor, co-national investigator of the Afrobarometer, says the survey revealed that though there is notable support for national reconciliation, a majority of Gambians want accountability for Jammeh-era crimes. She adds that most Gambians also want the former president extradited and tried for alleged human rights violations and other crimes committed during his 22-year reign.
But throughout, across the board, Gambians believe that there should be accountability. They reject impunity. So in most cases, people believe that Jammeh should be tried. And all the crimes that were committed during his regime should be also, taken to court. So I believe after the TRRC, people believe that, that was a process. Now they need to see court cases, unrolling.
Madam Senghor also stated that the survey shows many Gambians appear to be content with the number of women in key positions in public establishments. Furthermore, she says their findings also revealed that more men than women support FGM.
Gambians seem to believe that we have enough women in the public space, but I think that is reflecting the nature of our society, the stereotypes around women in politics, women in public space. So traditional believe that women should be, in the homes. So that data also is very interesting, and I think it shows us that we have a lot of work to do. On the other one, also in terms of violence against women, we've seen also, especially on the FGM, that this kind of a tie break between those who believe that we should continue and those who believe that we should stop that practice. And interestingly, in terms of the data, there are more men who believe that FGM should be continued.
The co-national investigator of the Afrobarometer also revealed that despite ongoing efforts to create more awareness, their survey also showed that fewer women have access to information about their rights compared to men, especially in rural Gambia.
Women don't have enough information about certain issues, but also it's the nature also because women are busy, taking care of the homes, they are busy, going to the farms, they are busy, taking care of the children. Sometimes they don't have time to listen to radios, they don't have time to, to consult the news, understand how things are working. And men have more time, especially in certain areas, especially in the rural areas, they have more time to do their banter bars, to discuss among themselves, but also to listen to the news and get more information.
Founded in 1999, the Afrobarometer, which currently operates in 34 countries, is a Pan-African, non-partisan survey research project that assesses citizens' approach towards governance, democracy and other important topics making headlines, and have since 2018 carried out several surveys in the Gambia. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News.
Members of the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee are having a week-long meeting in the Gambia to assess the state of implementation of the ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement, the right to residence and establishment, with a view to overcome the challenges impeding its effective implementation. Aliou Cisse reports.
The ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement, Rights to Residence and Establishment, which has been in place for decades, allows ECOWAS citizens to move freely across borders within the region without the need for visas. However, challenges such as inconsistent implementation, border security concerns, and lack of awareness, among other obstacles, have hindered its full implementation. This delocalized meeting of the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee on Trade, Customs and Free Movement, Social Affairs, Gender, Women Empowerment and Persons with Disabilities, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, Political Affairs, Peace and Security, and African Peer Review Mechanism in the Gambia reflects the ECOWAS Parliament's ongoing commitment to fostering regional integration and improving mobility of its people, which is vital for economic growth and social cohesion in West Africa. Baboucarr O. Diop, the Gambia's Minister of Trade, Employment and Regional Integration, welcomed the theme of the meeting as timely and relevant. He believes integration calls for addressing challenges impeding the protocol.
The Protocol on Free Movement of Persons, Rights of Residence and Establishment is a cornerstone of the ECOWAS vision for a unified West African region. It embodies our commitment to creating a borderless community where individuals can move freely, establish businesses, and reside across member states without unnecessary restrictions.
Muminat Ibrahima, Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, acknowledged that there are severe challenges in terms of free movement and called for mechanisms to be in place to effectively monitor implementation.
Indeed, in addition to other significant advantages, it enables ECOWAS citizens to freely move in member states without let or hindrance, and to establish themselves and engage in economic activities.
Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Speaker of the Gambia's National Assembly, advocates harmonizing national laws with regional protocols to achieve the desire of the ECOWAS citizens.
The theme under which this meeting is convened is not merely a topic for discussion. It is a clarion call to action for each one of our member states.
Bileji Tunkara, 4th Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament and head of the Gambia's delegation to the Community Parliament, said the meeting is a testimony of the Community Parliament's commitment to the ideals of the sub-regional bloc. Deputizing for the Gambia's Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Mamadou Tangara, Umar Balde, the Director of the African Affairs Division, Minister of Foreign Affairs, said despite the critical role of the protocol for the socio-economic development of the sub-region, its implementation continues to remain a huge challenge.
The theme for this morning is by itself self-explanatory and in many ways fundamental, overarching on totality of the objectives of which ECOWAS as a body was established.
I am sure by the end of the meeting, there will be enhanced expert knowledge and the level of implementation would have been shared.
During the course of the week-long meeting, the parliamentarians will interact with various stakeholders to understand their perspectives on the protocol, hold meetings with locals and customs officials at the Karang border, and dialogue with young people on youth migration in the ECOWAS region. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The Gambia Public Procurement Authority GPPA began a 5-day retreat on Monday to review the public procurement regulations and the strategic documents for 2023. Lori M. Kamara attended the opening at Sinola Camp in Kanilai, and she filed in this report.
This 5-day retreat is being attended by stakeholders from both the public and private sector to discuss the procurement policies and procedures that will be aligned with the newly enacted GPPA Act 2022. The Public Procurement Regulations and Strategy Document 2023 aims to ensure transparency, fairness and efficiency in public procurement. These participants will engage in discussions, share insights and address potential gaps within the new regulations. Ibrahima Sanyang, the Director of Procurement, Policy and Operations at the Gambia Procurement Authority, highlighted the importance of public procurement in ensuring transparency, fairness and efficiency in the use of public funds. He also stressed the need for continuous improvement in procurement processes to achieve better value for money and promote national development. Fode Mjaite, Director General of the Gambia Public Procurement Authority, stated that through efficient, transparent and accountable procurement processes will ensure the effective use of public resources, foster economic growth and build public trust in our institutions.
The work we do here will set the tone for how the 2022 regulations and strategic documents are understood, interpreted, and applied across the public sector. It is our responsibility to ensure that these regulations are not just a set of guidelines, but are actively driving positive change in how public procurement is conducted in the Gambia.
By Ibrahim Job, Vice Chairman of the GPPA Board of Directors, states that the strategic document review will help address regulatory complaints and promote best practices in procurement.
This retreat are crucial. They will lay the foundation for a regulatory environment that fosters fair competition, reduces corruption, and promote the efficient use of scarce public resources. These goals are not just regulatory requirements, but they are essential to the sustainable development of our country.
Julda Sise is the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs.
Enactment of the GPP Act 2022 was a milestone in our ongoing efforts to reform and strengthen public procurement in the Gambia. However, the effectiveness of any law depends on the quality and clarity of the regulations that guides its implementation. This retreat provides us with the opportunity to refine our regulatory framework to ensure it is robust, comprehensive, and aligned with the best practices.
The retreat will cover a wide range of topics, including ensuring legal compliance with the new Act, enhancing operational efficiency by clarifying and updating regulations, among other matters. Participants will also have opportunities to share their experiences and ideas for improving the Gambia's procurement system. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local, international and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
Money ak Orange Money ñoo lëkkaloo pour yombalal leen yónnee xaalis bàyyi ko Gambia dem ba Sénégal ak Q Money wallet looy toog di xaar dawal léegi nga ubbi Q Money account pour nga mun a door di yónnee xaalis sa xariteeg sa mbokk yi jaarale ko Orange Money Sénégal léegi pour am si lu leer mun nga call Q Money customer care si 133 Q Money suñu kalpe lii dafa ànd ak sarta yuñ tëral.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel-Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertel-Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
Welcome back. This is QTV News. Opening ceremonies of an international summer camp organized by the Gambia Scouts and Scouts from Guinea-Bissau were held on Saturday in Brufut and Banjul. Laming Alhaji Fanding Dabo attended both events and he filed this report.
Summer, which equates to our region's rainy season, is the time when schools are on their lengthiest holidays, allowing students to engage in extracurricular activities. The 335 scouts from Guinea-Bissau are being lodged at St. Augustine Senior Secondary School in Banjul and Brufut Upper Basic School, respectively. At Brufut Upper Basic School, where 225 scouts were lodged, Alaji Mar, the chairperson of the Combo North Scout Committee, explains the aims and objectives of organizing such an event.
Our team for this camp, exploring borders, building bridges for globalization, is not just a phrase, but a call to action. In today's world, where globalization connects us with unprecedented ways, it is crucial for us to foster understanding, collaboration, and friendship across borders. This can provide us a perfect opportunity to do this possible.
At St. Augustine Senior Secondary School, where 110 were lodged, Alaji Sise, the Deputy Scout Commissioner for Banjul, thanked all those who supported them in hosting this international camp. He went on to shed light on the purpose of hosting such a historic event.
It's very important in the sense that it has linked the two cities between Banjul and that of Guinea-Bissau. And if you see here the participation, the scouts you have seen here, it will boost the morals of Banjul, because Banjul have gone. There was a time where Banjul used to be the best scouts movement throughout the Gambia. Within a sudden, after some years, everything died down. But today's program, at least it will show parents that Banjul, we are here, the scouts are here, and scouts, it's a disciplinary youth organization with more the child, the young people, to be a better leader tomorrow.
Scouting in this 21st century has gained momentum as the number of girls enrolled into the Scout movement is increasing, thanks to gender empowerment initiatives aimed at unlocking the potentials of the girl child. Asiatu Drame, the National Gender and Child Rights Commissioner for the Gambia Scout Association, describes the international summer camps as educational for the young scouts of both countries. She went on to share this message.
As the Gender and Child Rights Commissioner, I would like to ensure all parents that their children are safe with us, especially the girl child. Girls are always safe with us, and it is important also for the girl to join the Scout movement. We put so much discipline in the Scout.
Sofia Augusta Baldeca spoke on behalf of the Bissau Guinean delegation.
I'm feeling very happy because this is my first camp in Gambia. And I like Gambia, and my friends also like Gambia. I know some people, but I like people from Gambia.
The Brufut event was attended by several dignitaries, including Abdoulaye Danso, West Coast Regional Scout Commissioner, and Bakari K. Baji, the National Assembly member for Fonyi Bintang Karanai, among others. The Banjul event also featured speeches by several dignitaries, all of whom emphasized the importance of such a youthful forum, which will benefit scouts from both countries. For QTV News, I am Lamin Alaifandin Dabo.
We will now shift our attention to news away from home. In international news, as the Mpox virus spread rapidly across the continent, the Director General of the Africa CDC, Jean Kaseya, says the high burden of Mpox cases, limited diagnostic capabilities, and the disease's high fatality rate are hindering the continent's Mpox response. Julian Jai has the latest.
Jean Kaseya, the Director General of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, gave an update on the multi-country Mpox outbreak in Africa on Friday. Data from the Africa CDC shows that from the beginning of 2024 to the 23rd of August 2024, 21,466 potential cases of Mpox and 591 deaths have been reported from 13 African Union member countries. They include Burundi, Cameroon, the Central African Republic, the Republic of Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Gabon, Liberia, Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa, and Uganda. The Director General of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said the cases and deaths recorded are just the tip of the iceberg, given that Mpox is mostly a mild condition and surveillance, testing, contact tracing is a challenge. Mr. Kaseya further warned the high case fatality rate of Mpox is mostly between 3 and 4%, adding that the disease linked to HIV is also a particular concern for Africa. Other African countries, Sierra Leone and Malawi, are now testing their suspected cases. On the 13th of August, the Africa CDC declared the ongoing Mpox outbreak in Africa as a public health emergency of continental security. A day after the Africa CDC's declaration, the World Health Organization also declared Mpox a public health emergency of international concern. The Africa CDC chief said by working closely with African countries, the WHO and various partners, as well as by leveraging the AU's political, policy and advocacy capacities in responding to the outbreak, the agency is supporting African countries in their preparedness and response activities. He further disclosed that the Africa CDC is deploying around 200 epidemiologists and logisticians in all Mpox-affected African countries. This is against the backdrop of the deployment of 24 experts to support the response in the DRC and other most affected countries. Continental strategy for Mpox was developed to mobilize resources and coordinate the outbreak response. On the 19th of August, the Gambia's Ministry of Health issued a public notice about the outbreak, which included advice on how to reduce the risk of infection by practicing good hygiene and avoiding close contact with anyone showing symptoms. The notice also instructed that if anyone develops symptoms or suspects they have been exposed, to call the free toll number 1025 for guidance. On Monday, the 26th of August, the CDC announced it will hold a press conference on the matter on the 27th of August 2024. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
And now look at the latest in the world of sports. Ahead of the qualifiers for the Morocco African Cup of Nations tournament, Gambian players continue to shine at the club level with goals and top performances over the weekend. Amadou Tamba gives us a roundup.
With coach Jonathan McKinstry expected to unveil his squad this week, Scorpions players have been in good form at club level across the globe. Midfielder Ibu Adams scored his first goal of the season for Derby County in the English Championship as they lost 2-1 to Watford at Vicarage Road. Adams played the entire game, putting in an impressive showing. Adams will hope for better luck in Tuesday's Carabao Cup game, where Derby County have been drawn against lower league opposition in Barrow from EFL League 2, the fourth level of the English Football League system. In the English Premier League, wonder kid Yankuba Minte made his home debut for Brighton and Hove Albion, starting in their 2-1 win over Manchester United at the American Sports Stadium. Minte, who played 89 minutes, came close to providing an assist, only to see his free kick headed against the crossbar by former England international Danny Welbeck. Striker Alassane Jatta continued his impressive goal-scoring form for the English League Two side Notts County as he helped them earn a 4-1 home win against Grimsby. Jatta scored early in the game before assisting Jody Jones to score his side's third. The striker now has a 4-goal contribution this season, 3 goals and an assist in 3 games. In Denmark, Gambian duo of Hamza Barry and Musa Juara, who play for Vejle Bold Club, lost 3-1 at home to Silkeborg. Midfield star Hamza Barry scored his first goal of the season, sweeping a right-footed effort into the net to reduce the year deficit, whilst Musa Juara was introduced a little after the hour mark and came close to scoring for the home side. Scorpions duo of centre-back James Gomez and midfielder Alassane Mane showed magnificent performance for OB Odense in Denmark as they eased to a 3-0 win away at Hobro. James played the entire match, completing the most passes in the match, 74, playing 10 passes into the final third and winning all tackles he went in for, 4/4. Former Real de Banjul striker Abdoulaye Cissé is in brilliant goal-scoring form for Estonian side Paide Linamiscon. Cissé scored in Paide's 3-1 win away to Temeka as his international teammate, goalkeeper Ibrahima Jaju, who made his senior Scorpions debut under McKinstry, started and completed the match in between the sticks. In Scotland, St Johnstone striker Adama Sidibe had a game to forget as he picked up a red card in his side's 2-0 defeat away to Dundee United in the Scottish Premiership. These players will all be hoping to make it into the squad ahead of the September AFCON qualifiers against Comoros and Tunisia on the 4th and 8th of September respectively. Scorpions head coach Jonathan McKinstry is expected in Banjul tomorrow Tuesday and will unveil his squad on Wednesday the 28th of August 2024 at the Football House in Canifing at 12 p.m. For QTV News, Amadou Tamba.
Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.